welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy, the Painting Fireman. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks so much for all the likes and subscribes. I really do appreciate it. Today we're going to do a black canvas painting. I'll show you what I did up here just to start. Before I painted the black gesso on the canvas, I cut out a little circle, and it's actually it's a big circle because we're going to do a big harvest moon today. It's almost harvest season, so I thought, hey, you know, we should probably do a harvest moon. So I just cut it out of just Mac Tack, just something that kind of sticks to the canvas. I painted the black gesso on top of that, let that completely dry. And then what I did was I covered the canvas with Prussian blue. So I think we're going to have like a yellow moon with a kind of blue night, kind of cloudy sky. Maybe a waterfall or something in there. I don't know, we'll see where it goes. So come on, join me up on the canvas. So we're going to start out with just a bit of titanium white, just a little bit on our 2-inch brush. Not a lot, just a little bit. And we're only using a few colors here. I got my blue that I painted already. The white, I got a mix of phthalo green and black. That's going to be kind of like a dark tree color. A little bit of red and a little bit of Indian yellow. Actually, that's crimson. Not red, crimson. And Indian yellow. So we're just going to start out in the sky here. Maybe pick a spot and just gently make some swirling. Make it look like clouds in the sky there. It's going to be a deep dark picture just down here maybe a little bit. It's not going to be a bright moon, so we don't want it ultra bright around the moon here, but we still want that indication that there might be some clouds hanging around there somewhere. We might even throw some stars in there, maybe, I'm not sure. But just take a little bit more paint once in a while, just on that 2-inch brush, and you can start again. And all I'm doing is making circular patterns. Just circular patterns with that brush. It makes it look all cloudy and ominous, almost big clouds in the sky. And leave some dark patches. That's important too, you know, where there's dark you need light, and where there's light you need dark. That's how kind of the paintings go. And just around here. And you could switch it up, you know, have a look and see. Maybe around this moon here. It's a little bit brighter, but not too much. And just kind of fill everything in here. And on the bottom, I want it to be really misty. We're going to put some trees there, so we kind of need that light, the lightness of just a lighter color on the bottom, just to bring out those trees just a little bit. Not necessarily clouds, maybe this is kind of fog. Up here there's a little more cloudy, and down at the bottom we got some fog happening, and we're going to put some trees that you can kind of see in the background there. And you can go ahead and even brighten a few of these clouds up. Just like I said, just circular patterns, nothing too crazy. Just make it look all cloudy. We can blend some of that out there. Maybe a little more on this side. All right, let's take our big brush. So I was using the 1-inch brush. I might have said 2-inch brush. This is the 1-inch brush. We're going to use the 2-inch brush. And same thing, just going to go and blend some of this sky out. Big old cloudy sky today. It's been raining here the last couple days, so kind of appropriate for this painting. I want the bottom kind of just to fade off into nothing here. And then you can go lightly across. And then step back, have a look. I see one cloud right here. I think maybe we can add a little brightness to that cloud. And just very little paint. You just want to kind of go in there just a little bit. We're just going to highlight this cloud just a little bit more. Maybe the moon is casting a bit more shadow on that one, or a bit more light on that one. Shadow to the bottom. Just a little bit here. All right, and then you can take your 2-inch brush. And if you don't like any of your clouds, you can always just blend them out, right? All the way and just fade it into nothing. That's the beauty of this oil paint. You can just fade those clouds away if you don't like them. And step back, have a look. You know, I kind of lean back a little bit sometimes just so I can have a look and see what kind of shape my clouds are in here. Maybe a little more definition up here. Maybe that cloud kind of makes a little bit more of an appearance up here. A little more defined. And you can blend it out so that it kind of disappears. I don't think we're going to put any stars in there. I don't think we really need them. All right. Now, what we're going to do is let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of our little sticker in the middle there. Just looking for my knife. And like I said, this is just MacTech. You can buy it at the dollar store. Let's pull that up. Big old moon there. So underneath, what I did was, when I put the black on, I mixed a little gray color, and I took a little bit of a paper towel, and I just dabbed it maybe a little darker in places, just to give that little bit of a texture to the moon. And it turns out really cool. It's a really neat kind of way to do a moon. And you can use any color. You can use crimson. I've done green, but this time I thought I'd do blue. So let's make sure our brush is dry. And we're going to go right into that yellow. And we're going to put yellow in this moon. Now make sure that we're really paying attention to getting close to the edge, but not over the edge. Because if we mix it with that blue, it will turn green. And that's not the color we want. I mean, you could do a green moon. That's, you know, I've done one before, phthalo green moon. It's a pretty cool idea. It's your moon. You can do whatever you want with it, really. But to get to the closer edges, I'm just going to use a smaller brush and get up close to those edges. Try and get as close as you can. Take some more paint. All right, I just finished putting in the yellow of the moon, and we're just going to take a little bit of this crimson color, just a little bit on this tiny brush, not a big brush, and we're just going to add some of this crimson color to our moon, and just go over this top edge here. Just go over the top, maybe about halfway around. And we're going to blend some of this into this yellow, just a bit, and take your time. Take your time with this, no need to rush. Just try and get as close as you can to that edge. And you can kind of bring some of it out. And then you can go ahead and take your 1-inch brush, put a little more on there, just spin it around, just spin it around. Give that moon a little bit of a neat looking glow to it. You can go darker if you want, darker up here, and blend it out into this yellow. Just take that red, that crimson color, spin it around, and just put it into that yellow color. There we go. You can even take and wipe it off, and then take some of your white, not a lot of white, and you can even put some white just on this bottom here, just to brighten it up just a little bit. and blend it back in there. And what that'll do is that'll give your moon a bit of character and shape to it. And you can take some of that red again. Crimson, I'm sorry, I keep calling it red. It's not red, it's crimson. And it can be any color you want, really. Any color you want. There we go. Now let's go and take our fan brush. We'll use a bigger fan brush. We're going to go right into our kind of purpley mountain color. Now I want it to kind of be tall back here and go shorter with the tree line. Almost like a river coming through. So just take your fan brush, both sides, nice, lots of paint. And we can just make some images of some trees in the back here. And all I'm doing is kind of pulling down, really varying the size. Vary the size. Some are shorter, some are taller. But as I go this way, I just kind of want to make them even shorter, but still vary the size. Back into almost nothing back there. Back into the fog that we put. And all I'm doing is pressing down with that brush at an angle. We can even come back, make some of these even taller if we want to. And let me just grab a little more paint. Maybe even some of them we can just start to see a little bit of detail. Now these ones are going to be way, 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 way in the back. I'm not going to be able to see very many of them. Way in the back. Way in the back. So maybe take one, and you can start to maybe see just the hint of some branches in the back there. Don't do them all. Just a few of them. Maybe you can see some definition in some of them. And all I'm doing is pressing downwards. Nothing too crazy with what I'm doing here. I think we're going to put a big old tree there. Maybe have one tree coming this way and then the waterfall in the front. Alright, let's take our knife. We're just going to grab some of that white. Put some on here. Actually, before we do that, just in case that kind of water does show up, just take a little bit of your white and bring it downwards. Just create just a bit of a reflection. And gently go across. And here's another really neat thing that you can do. Excuse me. You can take your fan brush, clean that off, and take some white, just a little bit on that brush. Not too much at all, just a very faint amount. And in the back, you can take and just pull upwards. And that'll make it look like there's a million trees and you really didn't do very much. Just pulling upwards just a little bit. Now, if parts of it are too bright, like right in here, just clean your brush off. You can go over it even more. But just a slight pull. Just a little bit of a pull here and there. And then if you really don't like what you see, you can always put some of that dark color over top of it. So it'll look kind of misty in the background there. And create that water line again. Pull down and across. Take your brush and just fade that off. We don't want a ton of detail in the back here. Not a ton of detail. All right, let's take just a little bit of that blue color and white, and we're just gonna vaguely put the indication of a water line in the back there. Just barely see that water line. It is nighttime, so it's not going to show up very much. Maybe that moon is catching a little bit of it, but we're going to mostly put it through here and then drop our waterfall down. So you can take your white, it's going to mix with that blue, and let's start thinking of that water coming through here. Maybe it's like a raging river of some sort, and you can just take some paint, tap it on, just white paint in the knife, get that nice little tiny roll. It's kind of a raging river come at you. Now, a lot of this will be covered up, but maybe some of it you'll see. So you can always put your water lines in here. Just put those indications. Something raging. Maybe there's some rapids back here. And then it's just going to spill over right here, right under this moon. All right, let's find out where we're going to put our waterfall. So I'm just going into white, not a ton of white, just enough on both sides. And let's go right under our moon, and we're just going to pull and down. Overlap just slightly, pull across and down. And let's do one more right here and down. And let's make some mist at the bottom there, just in case, and our trees will cover that. So just take a little bit of your white, and we're gonna mist this up. That water is just shooting in there. This side too. And it's picking up that blue that we put on before. Picking up that blue. And we might cover a bunch of this stuff up, but I just wanted to put it in there just to have it. Just to make sure that we don't forget about our misty waterfall here. Just swirl it around, blend it up. Even closer to the waterfall. A little bit brighter. Let's go darker. Darker as we go into the corners. We don't know where that waterfall ends. I think we're just going to put one waterfall in today. And we can always grab some white paint and just tap. Just tap in certain places. Makes it look like that water's really raging and splashing around. Get rid of some of that paint there. So it's almost like we did the clouds up here with this fog that's shooting off the waterfall. All right, and you can take your 2-inch brush, and I really like how bright that is, so I'm going to avoid touching the top of that. Just avoid it. It just looks kind of neat when you leave that brightness right at the top. Maybe it's kind of reflecting some of this moon, I don't know. But leave some of that brightness at the top, and you can just fade it off to nothing. I think we're going to put some trees here anyway, but just in case we don't, it's there. All right, let's get our fan brush going again. Dip it into that mixture that we made with phthalo green and black. And big decision time. I think there's going to be a big old tree just catching the corner of our moon. And gently go down, pressing harder as we go down, making that tree wider and wider. Kind of over top of our corner there. Here's one tree. Nice big tall tree. And let's make a little shorter one right here. Press harder as we go down. We're going to highlight these guys after anyways. Alright. And maybe this guy's really tall, goes up into the clouds there. And press harder as we go down. And just fill up that bottom. And there's going to be a big old ledge there, I think. Let's fix this guy up here. He's missing a few spots. So with these trees, you can always go back, make them wider if you need to. I like the way our moon looks, so I don't really want to wreck that moon too much. Kind of a forest happening. A little shorter guy. And maybe another tall one. And a third one. Let's make him the tallest one. Not by much. Not by much. There we go. All right. There. Got our trees kind of surrounding our waterfall. And we can go ahead, maybe put some black in there. A little bit of black, more black. And I think we can put some land in here. So we're just gonna put a little parcel of land kind of on the edge here. Let's do the same on this one. Just kind of that land, just kind of, maybe we'll put some bushes here, make it a little more interesting. And we can highlight it. We can take some of our yellow, whatever you got, maybe some of our white, maybe white and blue. I'm not sure. Yeah, white and blue. Why not? Make a light blue color. And we can go here and just indicate maybe there's some rocks or something. And then our cliff can go straight down. Just into the abyss kind of. But that fog in front will kind of hide all that stuff. Same with the other side. Maybe there's just looks like rocks, and all I'm doing is kind of tapping with my knife, just to make it look like there's rocks and stuff like that. Same thing. We can go downwards, and we can fog that up again. It's a cliff. All right, let's take our brush and we can put some more fog so that we hide that. Same with this side. Maybe a little brighter here. There we go. That's, water's just crashing down there. Love the way that looks. And maybe it splashes up. Just tapping in some white. That's all I'm doing really. Let's put in some very faint looking. And all I'm doing is kind of dipping a little bit into my white and blue color. Just that faint indication that there's something holding these trees up here and there. Just blue and white. Just very little blue and white. Just enough light coming off that moon to highlight some of these trees. All right, now maybe let's take some of that crimson yellow, make almost like a peach color, and maybe there's just some bushes here. The light is orange kind of the moon just kind of glimmers just ever so slightly off of those branches there. You can even throw a little bit of white in just to give it that extra little sparkle just in certain places, and that'll really give your painting that depth of light and dark. It's kind of what we're looking for. All right, let's go into that yellow again, that peach colored. Almost the color of the moon is what I'm using as a highlight color. Let's go ahead and highlight a few of these trees. Just a little bit. Nothing too wild on these ones here. I want it to still look like nighttime, right? And we don't want those colors to be very dark or very light, pardon me. But we still want to make sure that we can tell they're trees, right? Very subtle highlights, I guess you would call them. Same with this side. Very subtle. You can even add just a little bit more white to that so it shows up just a little bit more. Maybe it catches that color a little bit more on the tops. And as you go downwards, it gets dark because that's, you know, there's bushes and things stuck in there, who knows. Let's go on this other side. We'll just brighten a few of these ones up. Maybe this big guy, you can see the light on this guy a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more black. All right, let's go right here. And let's bring that big old tree right down. Maybe maybe we'll put some land here. We'll see. Not really keen on where anything's going right now. Let's go a little shorter. And down, down. Harder as we go to the bottom. I want to keep that in there. And I just noticed that You know, it kind of looks like the water might shoot through there. So let's put a bush there. Kind of hides that corner. And now you can't tell whether there's land in the back that comes across and holds everything in, or which direction it is. It's all kind of an illusion, right? Your paintings just become illusions. All right, let's stick a few down this way. Nice dark color. Put some more black on there. All right, there we go. Right over top of our mist, but good thing we put it back there, because I'm going to leave a few spaces open so that you can see the mist kind of in the background. And we're going to highlight those trees so we can see them just a bit better. And one more, just maybe a little small guy, just to fill in that bottom. And let's make this guy just a little bit more pronounced. Lots of trees in this picture. Lots of trees. All right, let's go in and put our just a little bit of color on our knife. Not too much. Just very subtle. This is kind of subtle painting. Just top these out here. Same with here. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take our black color, pull it in one direction here, and we're just going to add just a few little doers that are kind of hanging out down here. The bottom of our, I wasn't sure if I was going to put land here, but I thought, you know what, it's going to look good if we put land there. So, you know, that's the beauty of this oil painting. You know, you can change your mind anytime you want. Just mixing up kind of a same kind of peach color, white, yellow, crimson, and we can begin highlighting our trees that are in the front, darker as we go down to the bottom. This guy here. All right, okay, we're going to take that same color, that same crimson, yellow, got a little bit of black in there, maybe throw some white. I want it very dull color. Pull in one direction, and we're just going to put the indication of some foliage of some sort in the front there, and very gently tapping. Maybe there's some grasses growing here or something. Maybe not the bushes or anything like that, but just the indication that there's some sort of foliage. And you can go into that white, just a little bit of that white, maybe a little of that blue. Put some on top there. You can even take liquid white if you want. Just a little bit of that liquid white. Just a touch of that liquid white. And you can add just the tiniest bit of color there. of brightness, just a little bit on the edge. Maybe these guys get some of that moonlight that's coming through here. And these guys kind of are dark in the background. We still want to see them. Even though they're dark in the background, they're still important. Well, I think we got a finished painting, so thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. Go ahead and share this video. My name's Andy, the Painting Fireman. Keep your shiny set up. Stay safe, friends.